Welcome to Friday Philosophy. Today we're going to talk about Ahimsa, which is the first of 5 yamas, which is the first of the 8 limbs of yoga. And yama is a restriction that we place on ourselves or observe towards ourselves and others. So what does ahimsa mean? It's been translated as non-violent or non-harming. And this teaching is an invitation to us to examine how our thoughts are, how our actions are, how our words are. Now, obviously, a very obvious example of being violent in your actions is going around punching someone in the face, which is what we do not want. But the other avenues or other elements that Ahimsa shed light on are our thoughts and our words. And one of the ways that we can look at this is when we act, speak, and think, do we do so from a place of love or from a place of fear? And if we move from fear, I hope you have never, but if you've ever had somebody be mean to you or you are mean to someone, it doesn't feel very good. You might feel justified in that moment in your action or your words or your thoughts, but generally it doesn't feel very good. On the other hand, if we move from love, we tell our loved one that we love them or we give them a hug or vice versa, then that feels really beautiful. So when we act, when we think, when we're about to say something, ahimsa gives us this opportunity to pause and consider, are we moving from love or from fear? So a couple of examples of ahimsa that have been pertinent to myself. The first one is yoga, ahimsa when we practice yoga. So when we get on the mat, are we feeling really tired? And do we honor that and then maybe practice a really nourishing, slow practice? Or do we get on the mat and we're feeling really tired, but we absolutely thrash ourselves on the mat much more than we're actually capable of in that moment? And the teaching is that we need to find a balance. We need to find a balance to rest when we need to rest and to stretch our boundaries when we have that capacity, but not to push ourselves so hard that we might injure ourselves. The other way that ahimsa has really helped me is in our thoughts. If you've grown up with a negative internal dialogue, you'll know, and I speak from experience, that doesn't feel very lovely. And one of the techniques that I used to help combat that is a metta meditation. And a metta meditation is a loving kindness meditation. So for about 18 months, 2 years, every time I caught myself or I noticed myself either thinking or saying something not so kind towards myself, I immediately started either saying out loud or in my mind the metta meditation. And I could feel, as I was saying the words, the tension melt from my body. And it's good to remember that when we have this constant sort of reel of negative thoughts going through our mind, it sends these signals to our brain to switch on our fight or flight mode. It sends us into stress mode, and that has a physiological effect on the body. So we have these stress hormones that are released and they flood the body, and which is really good if we're in danger and we need to get out of danger. But if we're just wandering around sort of being mean to ourselves in our head, then we're in this constant state of stress, not just mentally, but also physically. And that over a long period of time can cause issues in the body. So the metta meditation, it's really simple, and you can change the words if this doesn't resonate with you, but it's, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I be free from inner and outer dangers. May I be truly happy and at ease. So that's it for Friday Philosophy today. If you want to learn more about this, come and see me for a virtual one-on-one, or there's heaps of info out there about this topic. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.